Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about the brutalization of women and the victim mindset. But first, let me say thank you to everybody who's been stopping by, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, even donating. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please go ahead, click the subscribe button, click the bell symbol next to it, and accept the email notifications. It'll help me grow my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Now, today's video comes to us as a request from Nathan, and here's what he has to say. Now, I'm going to respond to the points as I go along, say a little bit at the end, and then we're going to take a look at a video that he suggests. So here we go. Hi, Howard. Your videos have a lot of good points, and keep up the enthusiasm. Thank you, Nathan. I thought maybe you could explore the other side a bit. Do you agree that feminism's first victims are women themselves? What guys have to deal with is a bit of secondary collateral damage, and with videos like yours and others, we can find the tools to deal with it. But feminism ultimately starts from a misdiagnosis of the problem, so any solutions prescribed are bound to make it worse for women and men, and all civilization as well. I agree with you partly there, Nathan. I agree that women are in fact victims of feminism because it is a victim mentality which cripples anybody. But I do not believe that men are merely secondary collateral damage, because I believe that the effect of this mindset is devastating on civilization and on relationships between men and women. It destroys the fabric of society. So it's not, secondary. It's the worst aspects of female nature exemplified, played out, and empowered with the resources of a technological society. I also agree with you that feminism starts from this basic misdiagnosis of the problem. It actually characterizes choice and obstacles and difficulties in reality as problems, that are put upon them, that victimize them. So, exactly, it's like a child that refuses to go out and play and build and learn, and you actually think that there's something wrong with the environment, when it's not. It's just the child won't motivate itself. So, any attempts that you make to fix the environment, it's not going to work, because that's not where the problem is. Moving on, you further say, do you think women really enjoy and are satisfied with collecting maximum resources from men and government as possible to the exclusion of all other priorities? I'm sure it feels good for a while, but ultimately, what is the value in it? I'm sure you understand, especially in a world where resources are already quite plentiful. Okay, that's a great point, Nathan, because our instincts evolved from a time when there were not unlimited resources and easy access to resources, and when it was very dangerous to gather resources. Therefore, it seems nearly all life, wants the maximum gain for the least amount of effort. And it seems that nearly all life, well, certainly a great deal of it, seeks its own pleasure. Now, so the implications of that are exactly, as you suggest. Following this instinct of gathering maximum resources is actually, and fulfilling this pleasure principle, there's a book by that name that talks about this very subject, is actually dangerous for our health. And we can see this when native populations are brought into a technological society and suddenly have easy access to inexpensive food and resources, and they can't control themselves. They don't seem to have the cultural or even the personal characteristics to say no to this, and it has this devastating effect on their metabolism. So, you want to take this up to a higher level. The instinct of men serving women and biological, life forms wanting to, seek out their own pleasure and, with the greatest efficiency in this modern environment, it's deadly, right? Now the need for self-discipline becomes very important. Think about that. And think about the idea that this instinct of caring for, protecting, and providing for, and getting along with is quite likely the very instinct, characteristic, value that is now being used to rip down Western civilization. We can't say no to the women. We can't say no to the hungry people, even though they won't feed themselves. So they're not hungry. Don't feel sorry for them. Anyway, moving on. He says, I can't pretend to know much about women, but my mother stayed at home to look after her kids. She didn't work until I moved away in my early 20s, and my dad was the salary man who did the earning. I don't know many other women that are nearly as happy and satisfied with their life, and she is now well into her 70s. Well, congratulations on that, Nathan, and I'm very glad to hear that. Now, I can't pretend to know very much either, right? I don't know what man, the pickup artists, right? They're the ones who step forward and say they understand female nature. In a larger point, my mother, an older woman, no longer with us, she was a stay-at-home mom as well, and she would have characterized the argument as, if you want to be a mother, then you should take care of your kids. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't do that. But if you do that, if that's the road you go, then that's what you do. And you don't complain about it and you don't resent it. And the things that you do give and you sacrifice as a mother, you do so willingly. You don't do so conditionally, maybe, so that you're not unhappy. So I agree. I agree with that. And this idea that women can have it all is actually, it's not true. Nobody can have it all. Okay, you can't travel around the world and be a person who, likes to stay at home and takes care of things on the home front. You can't do both of those. You can't have it all. And this is not men victimizing women or the universe victimizing women. This is the nature of reality, the fact that we are limited, that we are in a material world, so there are limitations. Okay, so thanks very much for the request and the donation, Nathan. I really appreciate it. Now, Nathan also suggests that I check out a video called The Brutalization of Women in Modern Society, Part 1. And I did. I checked it out. I'll point to the video in the description below. And it's from a channel called Strange Ramblings. And it's a woman, young, attractive woman. I won't call her pretty, but you'll need to watch the video to find out why I shouldn't call her pretty. She's pretty, though. And her views on the brutalization of women in modern society. And I don't want to go too deeply into it, but I would say that it really is an example of a woman taking the options and the choices that the modern world offers her and characterizing them as imperfect, not perfect to the woman's standards. In other words, birth control has the side effect of, pumping up a woman's estrogen, which makes her unable to supposedly smell a good genetic match for her immune system. This is what the woman proposes in her video. It's reasonable. There's some points to it. And that this causes the woman to make bad choices for a sexual partner. Truth is, she actually, as I understand it, makes choices closer to her own body type and own family type. She doesn't, she's easily threatened by different types of men, which might be the ideal, mating partner for her. So this option of birth control, which is not perfect, which has this side effect, is characterized as abuse and the brutalization of women. No, it's simply an imperfect choice because there was they couldn't come up with a better solution. If you would like a better solution, I would suggest don't take birth control. Don't take the pill. Another example she uses is the chemicals in modern cleansing products, feminine hygiene products. They're laced with estrogen. And indeed they are. And they have estrogen mimicking tendencies. And they do. But they are a choice. So all options, all obstacles in life, which are choices, are presented as brutalization, something for others to feel sorry for the women. And it is strange, to characterize everything in the world as imperfect and therefore an assault upon your person, as if you should be simply given all these perfect options. So I could only watch the first part. I couldn't subject myself to any more than that. And if you can, go ahead and take a look at it and see if you agree with my characterization of what the woman is doing and how she's characterizing problems that are facing many modern women. And where she calls it the brutalization of, I would suggest that it's more, simply that she's playing a bit of a victim regarding these options not being perfect. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.